Hey, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we're going to discuss the Libra New Moon happening on September 25th, 2022 at 5:55 p.m. That's Eastern Time, so be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. The Libra New Moon is occurring at 2 degrees 48 minutes of Libra, so we round up to 3 degrees. And this is where we have the sun and the moon conjunct together, creating a new energetic intention, as is the case every month. So you want to identify where you have 2 or 3 degrees of Libra in your chart, as this is where the universe is supporting you in beginning a new cycle, something that is ready to start, to be initiated within the Libra energy themes. Now, this new moon is happening on September 25th, which is about 3 days after the equinox that was on September 22nd. And so we have a period of time as the sun enters Libra and then has a Libra new moon where we're really being supported in balancing our energy. Libra is where we want to assess that the energy we give out is coming back in equal measures. It's where we look at what is in balance, what is fair, and we also can understand more of what is out of balance and where we need to recalibrate ourselves. Meaning there could be some type of energy around this new moon where you're sensing that it's just a good time to pause, to not rush, to not force, to just be in that state of allowing as energy gets into balance. Again, I feel this September 22nd until this new moon on September 25th, where we are energetically balancing what we've been through in the past year, also what we've been through in this calendar year. So this could be a time when you're ready to pause or take a slow down. Now, the Libra energy wants to ensure that things are peaceful, harmonious, that again, there's this nice, easy receptivity going on. And there could be themes coming up around this Libra new moon where you notice what's in balance or what's out of balance. Perhaps you're sensing where you want to do more, offer more, or where you're ready to take a break and pull your energy back. Libra is the 6th sign of the zodiac, and it's where we begin sharing our energy outside of ourselves. It's where we start to connect, co-create. It's where we cooperate. It's where we interact with others even more. And this is a highlight during every Libra season. But during the Libra new moon, it's a time to look at what are you ready to do differently and in a new way. And this particular Libra new moon is quite interesting because you'll see here that we have the sun and the moon in Libra, then we have Mercury retrograde in Virgo and Venus in Virgo. These are the 4 planets, luminaries, that are going to be on this side of the astrological wheel. In fact, they're the only 4 that are going to travel this side of the astrology wheel. No other planet or point is going to make it over on this side of your chart. So there are some things that these 4 are highlighting and bringing to your attention that maybe you're already aware of because of this Mercury retrograde. And there could be things that you are contemplating, considering, and really thinking through during this Libra new moon that highlights relationship themes, patterns, things that, again, haven't been working, and now you have perhaps a new understanding of how to add new energy or do something different. And that's because when we follow this energy trail, Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is in Virgo and conjunct this retrograde Mercury. And this is a problem-solving energy. This is where we're analyzing, thinking things through, reconsidering, reevaluating with this Mercury retrograde, really looking at what works, what doesn't work, perhaps going into some of the particulars and specifics as Virgo is about those details. There's also the energy here of wanting to be clearer in your energy in some way. And what is interesting is that even though this Mercury and Venus are conjunct in Virgo, they are both making a trine to Pluto at 26 Capricorn retrograde. And this Pluto delivers in a truth. Pluto is about something powerful we're meant to acknowledge and see. Pluto is about transformation, doing things in a different way, in a new way, from a place of empowerment. So we have Pluto supporting both Mercury and Venus in Virgo right now. And I feel like we're really assessing some things that we want to do differently, where we want to make changes. There's like this sense of, I want to be better, or I want to rise up, or I want to step into my potential. And the Virgo energy is personal, it's introverted, it's private. It's a bit like what's happening behind the scenes at the same time that this Libra new moon is bringing our attention to matters of the Libra areas in ourselves and in our charts. And it feels like there is a realization happening inside, again, in a personal manner, that's helping us get clearer on these new beginnings, on these new areas of life that we want to share, collaborate, cooperate, where we want things to be in a harmonious connection. And yet this strong Virgo working with Pluto energy is helping us look at what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed, what is not working, what has not been working, and what to do with it. So there could be energies around this Libra new moon where you see something in a new way, you see it in a different way. Now, I also want to note here that this Venus in Virgo, the ruler of the Libra new moon, was previously in an opposition to Neptune at 23 degrees of Pisces retrograde. And this Neptune is back at the degree point where it was conjunct Jupiter back in April, when we had that big conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune, where they met at 23 degrees Pisces and then moved to 24 degrees of Pisces together. This energy is now back in play as Neptune has retrograded back to this degree point. And there have been oppositions to this Neptune from Venus, where there were things we didn't see clearly. We weren't aware of it. It could have been very fuzzy or in the distance. I feel like this Libra new moon is bringing things into focus. There's something coming through that's very important to understand. And it could even be that you're seeing what has not worked and why, or what you want to improve and why. Because when Venus is in the earth signs, there's something that is clearer to her, and it gets clearer when she's done with this opposition to Neptune, which could have removed her understanding, her perceptions, something about the truth of a situation or the reality of something. That was removed. And so I feel like this Venus, she's undergoing some type of shift in her consciousness. And that's a big theme at this Libra new moon, is that, we do have Mercury retrograde, and we have, in fact, almost every other planet is retrograde. Mars, Venus, the sun and the moon are direct. Everything else is retrograde. So throughout September, there has been this pulling back our energy, internalizing our processes, sitting with ourselves, sitting with our energies, looking at what do I need? What is important now? Considering everything that has changed, evolved, and shifted in this calendar year, what are my priorities? What matters to me? Who are the people that understand it or on the same frequency, on the same wavelength? Who are the people that I am able to share my journey with? And also, how am I receptive to their needs as well? So this is assessing both sides of the coin in Libra, where it's also looking at, well, what kind of friend are you? Or what kind of partner have you been? What kind of ally? What kind of client? Or what kind of boss? How have your relationship skills shown up? How are they being refined and improved? So I feel this as an improvement energy. And with the conjunction here to that retrograde Mercury, it's even looking at, what we're learning to communicate better, how to be better communicators, how to be clearer in really hearing what someone needs, what they're saying, what's important to them. So again, with Libra, we work on both sides of the energy scale. And I think that there's something here about relationships, connections, friendships, one-on-one partnerships, that we're looking at what works and what doesn't work. And this feels more internal, meaning everyone could have a lot going on internally, and we're not seeing it all. We're not aware of where every person is in their process or in what they're doing. But there's something very interesting about this Libra new moon, which is about some type of self-assessment. Now, we have the sun and the moon, as I said here, at nearly 3 degrees of Libra, and they are opposing Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries retrograde. And this Jupiter in Aries is putting you in connection with what you need, what you want, what matters to you, what lifts your energy, what feels good, what is true for your frequency and what you're about at this time. This Jupiter is also making you aware of your own needs and what you cannot compromise. Meaning, if there have been parts of yourself that you have given away in connections, or you haven't fully owned part of who you are, what you need, this could be a Libra new moon where this opposition between this Jupiter and Aries to the planets here in Libra are going to encourage some type of energy exchange or conversation or interaction where there can be new solutions that you arrive at, but they have to include what's best for you too. Because sometimes this Libra energy will do anything to keep the peace, will do anything to make someone else happy, or to make sure that things are moving along, there's no problems, there's no issues. Libra doesn't want to rock the boat. And this is where you could have an understanding of, yeah, I've tried that. I've been there, and I've been bitter, or I've felt like I sacrificed my own needs and it didn't work or it didn't last. And this is a time of balancing what this Jupiter and Aries is bringing your attention to and allowing that to make those relationships stronger as a result, to make those connections better, because you're not giving up what you need for the sake of another or for the sake of a situation. Of course, there are times when, yes, you want to be a good team player, or you do something because it's best for everyone involved. And that is a wonderful intention. But I feel like part of this opposition to Jupiter is saying that, well, but be very honest with yourself and what you've learned about that pattern or that habit. If you have that pattern or habit, look at what is true for you and know that the right relationships, the true authentic connections will absolutely make room for that. Where when you present or state what's important to you, it's almost like there will be room at the table for that to be welcomed and accepted as well. So we are certainly looking at how we share our energy, how others share their energy with us, and what we need to perhaps see in a different way, and where we're ready to make some choices, to make some things clearer that will work. Virgo is the how. How is that going to work? How is that going to come together? How am I going to do that? How can I improve that? And I'm feeling like this is a very strong background energy where we've been really looking at some things in our lives that haven't been working and wanting to get to the heart of why it hasn't been working so that we can make a new start with a new intention, a new energy, and a new understanding of how it can be successful. So the Libra New Moon can show you how you're ready to do something differently. And it could be something that only you know about. Again, this is internal energy. So you could be reflecting on some things in your recent world or on your life path. And you could be ready to make some big permanent changes and just say, yeah, I really feel like I'm seeing things in a different way, in a new way. I'm ready to transform this. I'm ready to elevate this. I'm ready to do this in a new way. And that could be something that you're feeling as well with the strong earth energy here in this chart. Now we also have Mars, 18 degrees of Gemini, receiving a trine from Saturn, 19 degrees retrograde of Aquarius. And this is a stabilizing trine that helps with the plans that you're ready to follow through on and take action on. This Mars in Gemini is about the immediate environment, what you need to get done today, what's in front of you, the short-term projects and things that are on your to-do list and things that you want to complete this week, next week. But this Saturn holds the consciousness of the long-term plans, where you're going, what's taking shape, what's forming, what's coming together. And this Saturn is retrograde, covering territory he's already been in. And this Saturn is in fact approaching the fourth square to Uranus, 18 degrees Taurus retrograde, where there's going to be that fourth square between Uranus here in Taurus and Saturn, when Saturn gets back to 18 degrees of Aquarius. And it's a revisitation of the themes from last year around what is collapsing and changing. This Saturn has the data, the truth of the data, the truth of the information. And that information is actually being handed out here to Mars. And Mars in Gemini, another air sign around information and how information is being shared. So we actually are approaching this big square the beginning of October. And I feel like this is really a Libra new moon, that we could be striving for balance and fairness. But that could be a little tricky at times because this square is polarizing between this Uranus in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius. So we're looking to maintain our equilibrium amongst some bigger energy waves coming through that are dismantling and collapsing what is not working, what is not real, what is not true. And it's interesting how there's also a bit of a disconnect, because we have these planets in Libra conjunct the planets in Virgo conjunct trining this Pluto and Capricorn. So they're over here doing their thing. Then we have on this side of the chart the interactions of Saturn with Mars and Saturn with Uranus, and they're doing their thing on this side of the chart. So depending on your chart, you could feel like one energy on this side of the chart is working with you more than another. If, for example, if you have anything working with the Saturn, Uranus, or Mars here, you could feel like this energy is much stronger for you. Whereas if you have parts of your chart that are being activated by the Virgo, Libra, or Capricorn energies, this side of your chart could feel bigger for you. So it does feel like there is a split here in these energies. And this could be part of where we're looking to find balance. Balance between different parts of our lives, different parts of our energies. How do we reconcile some things? How do we find a peaceful way forward? Libra is about negotiations, contracts, diplomacy. But that's because we need diplomacy and negotiation when there is discord, when things aren't working, when things aren't getting along, when there are different sides and opposing views. And so this Libra new moon can also bring up what is oppositional and how do we remedy that? How do we find a place to accept it? And it is an objective energy, which says, remember, you're not in charge of other people's choices. You have no power or influence over other people's choices. And I feel like part of this Libra new moon is a detachment from anything that maybe you've put your energy into or you put your energy towards. And it's remembering that, all you have is your energy. And how are you going to make the choices that are best for you, correct for you, right for you, and allow that to strengthen you, even amongst all of the other energies flying around at this time. So it's a very interesting Libra new moon. Again, there is some kind of disconnect here in the energies. There's certainly a split in maybe what you're feeling or sensing. But the Libra new moon wants you to plant intentions, plant seeds of intention that support balance within. Balance, objectivity, detachment, and allowing people to choose what they're going to choose, do what they're going to do. Again, that's not your power, but this trine from Pluto to Venus and Mercury and Virgo brings you back to what you can focus on that's right for you and that's right for your energy at this time. So as always, thank you for joining me as we take a look at this new moon and what is happening in this chart. Also keep in mind this is the last Libra new moon or the last new moon cycle before we enter eclipse season again. Yes, we will start eclipses in 1 month towards the end of October, which is also when we will have Mars station retrograde at 25 degrees of Gemini on October 30th, 31st. So enjoy this lunar cycle, whatever it may bring up for you. And I will see you back here soon for another video.